This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Press pause. The NSGEU calls for the province to delay the electronic medical record launch.
FASD crisis. Advocates demand Nova Scotia fund a dedicated strategy for fetal alcohol spectrum disorder support.
And highway hazard. Nova Scotia drivers frustrated as potholes cause vehicle damage and prompt safety concerns.
Periods of rain, even the risk for a thunderstorm overnight in through Friday, but clearing into Saturday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. The province's largest union is calling on Nova Scotia Health to delay the planned launch of electronic medical records across the Central Health Zone.
As Michael Gorman reports, the NSGEU is concerned that ongoing issues at the IWK, where the system launched in December, are still affecting patients and workers.
Almost 5 months since a new electronic medical record system launched at the IWK, the province's largest union says concerns persist. A survey this month of 260 NSGEU members working at the IWK found they overwhelmingly did not feel prepared for the launch in December. Members also expressed concern with how they feel the implementation process has gone. The union's president says that's why her members want a pause on any further rollout of the system.
Ultimately, they're concerned with the care and well-being of their patients. To have to deal with critical situations as they do, all at the same time dealing with a system that they're not sure is going to work.
Mullins says that until ongoing issues with inaccurate documentation and missed referrals and appointments are resolved at the IWK, it does not make sense for further rollout to hospitals, including the Halifax Infirmary, Dartmouth General, and the Victoria General Hospital. Opposition leaders today echoed the call for a pause.
I think that they need to prove, in particular to clinicians and physicians and families and patients, that they're ready for the rollout. And what we are hearing in the media and certainly in our inboxes is that that is not the case.
They have rushed through implementing a system that they weren't ready for.
The president of the Nova Scotia Nurses Union has a slightly different view. Janet Hazelton says the first 4 to 6 weeks at the IWK were really concerning, but there has been much positive progress since then. She expects challenges with the May 9th launch, but says preparation work is happening.
It's painful, but it is something that has to happen. We need one patient, one record. If a person's being airlifted from Antigonish, that chart needs to get to Halifax before the patient.
Nova Scotia Health did not make someone available for an interview. A statement said in part that while officials understand staff and physicians may feel anxious and uncertain given the significant change, there are no plans to delay the May 9th rollout. The statement said an extensive array of training and support has been offered, and they've enhanced what's available based on the IWK experience. Meetings with union officials have happened throughout the lead up to launch, and the statement said there's a commitment for more. It said patient safety remains a priority, and the May launch will inform subsequent rollouts later this year in the Eastern, Northern, and Western health zones. Michael Gorman, CBC News, Halifax.
Families and advocates say there's not enough support for those living with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder in Nova Scotia. And they're calling on the provincial government to create a province-wide strategy. Selena Alders reports.
Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is a lifelong disability impacting an estimated 4% of all Canadians. It's caused by alcohol exposure while in utero, which can cause harm to the fetus's developing brain. People living with the condition and their families say there's not enough support for them here in Nova Scotia.
These kids need to know that they matter. They need to be seen. They need to be heard.
Rochelle Howlett's son Aaron lives with FASD. He now goes to school in New Brunswick, where there are wraparound supports and services available. Howlett co-founded an advocacy group in 2023 and has been pushing for change in Nova Scotia ever since.
I wouldn't feel comfortable sending him to Halifax to school. I couldn't do it. There's no safety net there.
Alan Mountford is the group's co-founder. They're calling on the province to create an FASD strategy.
Without that, no funds will ever be forwarded without a an official policy statement or a memorandum of understanding coming from some department, some ministry department. So yeah, parents are on their own. Parents are having to fight for services.
In Moncton, the New Brunswick FASD Centre of Excellence serves over 1,000 clients. Staff include doctors, psychologists, speech and occupational therapists. They say they often hear from Nova Scotians looking for services.
This is a medical diagnosis. It's a medical condition that needs to be recognized. And alcohol does cause harm.
Kim Dixon says her son could have avoided a major mental health crisis if there was a better understanding of FASD in Nova Scotia. They moved from Vancouver Island in 2022, where she said there were specialized support workers in every community.
But then when we moved to Nova Scotia, we quickly learned that they were probably 15 years behind where BC was.
No one from the provincial government was available to do an interview, but a spokesperson says they understand that navigating these services can be challenging. In Nova Scotia, there is no dedicated funding or program specifically for FASD, but people can access services through various government departments. The province says they've established a working group to help improve coordination. Selena Alders, CBC News, Halifax.
The search is continuing for a missing Australian hiker in Cape Breton Highlands National Park. Police say 62-year-old Denise Ann Williams was last heard from on April the 15th when she was traveling to Cheticamp. Her rental vehicle was located at the Parks Canada Visitor Centre near the Acadian Trailhead. Police launched a search on Tuesday with multiple agencies.
As the one-year anniversary of the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan approaches, the RCMP are calling for fact-based tips from the public, not rumors or speculation. Although there hasn't been any breaks in the case, police say they are still determined to solve it.
Well, we've definitely made progress on going through the things we need to go through, like we're working every day to go down the roads we need to go down. So we have made forward progress, but it does take time.
Then 4-year-old Jack and then 6-year-old Lily were reported missing from their home in Lansdowne on May 2nd of 2025. It is believed they wandered from their rural property that morning. Multiple searches have been done in the area. On Friday on the show, we will have special coverage marking the one-year anniversary of the siblings' disappearance.
4 men are facing mischief charges following a raid and protest at a First Nations cannabis shop in Bodledek earlier this month. RCMP executed a search warrant and seized products at the store on April the 2nd. A group of protesters then blocked the road, forcing police to take their weapons out of their vehicles and leave on foot. 6 vehicles were found damaged the next day, and 3 sets of hard body armor were missing. Photos show an unmarked police car missing its wheels, while glass windows were shattered and tires slashed on several of the SUVs. Police say 3 sets of body armor are missing. And with us now, the first quick check at the weather forecast is Ryan Snoddon.
Yes, a warm jacket kind of day.
Definitely. Along the Atlantic coastline, it was bitter. We did see and raw with the onshore winds and the moisture and the fog. But across northern areas, not too bad. We're all going to be looking at the same old story tomorrow, which is wet weather, especially Friday morning. From Thursday evening right through Friday into Saturday morning, by the time the rain clears from Cape Breton, we're looking at a widespread 10 to 30 millimeters across northern areas of the province and 30 to 50 millimeters along that Atlantic coastline and into Cape Breton. So it is going to be a beneficial shot of rain for all of us. There's the rain that will track in overnight tonight as we work our way into Friday morning. Note the periods of rain continuing to migrate eastward. Note the clearing over the Tri-County area into Friday afternoon. Looks like the valley will start to see some sun late day. And the good news is we're all into some sunshine for Saturday as this area of high pressure comes in. Not for long, though. Another system looming for Sunday. Full story coming up.
Lots to talk about. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
It's turning out to be a costly time of year for some drivers who are reporting damage to their vehicles from potholes. There are more of the holes on Halifax roads compared to this time last year, and there is a stretch of Highway 103 west of the city that a number of people are raising concerns about. Gareth Hampshire has that story.
On the roads in Halifax and on some provincial highways, drivers are having a hard time with potholes. This section of Highway 103 between Timberley and Upper Tantallon's being flagged as a particular problem spot.
They're popping up every day. Every day we drive down here and there seems to be another area that's getting a little bit deeper, or there's another patch that they put on the highway that's opened right up again.
Matt Forsey's other vehicle is in for repairs. He says it's the third time he's had to get new tires this year because of damage from potholes on this part of the highway.
Here's one of the deepest potholes right here, which I'm gonna miss, but this entire stretch is all sunk the whole way along.
He estimates repairs so far have cost several $1,000s. There are calls every day at this and other tire shops from people also reporting pothole damage. He's often seeing wheels in this condition.
I can say like every day I'm getting 2 to 3 calls to like somebody get a tire damage or wheel damage. They got tire flat. Some people getting 2 to 3 wheel and tire damage every day.
Crews in Halifax are fixing more potholes this year. The city says the freeze and thaw cycle has opened up more holes in the road, and consistent snowfall has slowed down repair work. However, more than 5,000 potholes have been fixed in the city.
Priority 1 potholes are 8 centimeters deep and 25 centimeters wide. So those are the ones that cause more of a safety concern for folks. They're the ones that you might swerve to avoid. Those are the ones that crews work on first.
The work is continuing, and there are still about 3,000 more identified potholes awaiting repair in Halifax. Meanwhile, the province says road safety is a priority and expects to do patching on Highway 103 in the next couple of weeks, once crews complete work happening on Highway 102. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Halifax.
There are questions being raised about the fate of the 2026 Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition. The Rath Eastlink Community Centre said on social media the long-standing agricultural fair would be cancelled. It later clarified it would simply no longer be organizing it. The Department of Agriculture says funding remains available for any qualified groups willing to organize the event. The Colchester County 4-H has plans for a smaller event if the full exhibition does not go ahead. Well, melting sea ice in Canada's far north is creating new shipping routes and a lot more international traffic in Arctic waters. That makes it harder for the Navy and the Coast Guard to patrol and, if needed, defend Canada's sovereignty.
But researchers at Dalhousie University have developed a program using AI to support military surveillance in the Arctic. The CBC's Brett Ruskin tried it out.
Up here in the Arctic, less ice means more ships.
Those waterways are going to open up. We're expecting increased activity.
Canada's military research branch knows more sensors are being installed each year to monitor that activity.
With the amount of data, it's going to outpace the ability of the human operators to really synthesize and understand everything that's going on around them.
So could artificial intelligence help?
Welcome.
Thanks. A team at Dalhousie University built a program to first test how well humans deal with the stress of identifying Arctic ships. Participants wear eye-tracking glasses while watching dozens of targets at a time. Focus darts between the map and vessel descriptions.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, yes. And we're trying to really kind of push you to really get that cognitive demand, right?
And the exercise is timed as well.
Is there a timer somewhere that you can see?
It's already ended, that's okay.
So could a custom AI companion have helped me finish before the time ran out?
We really want the AI to be a teammate to the human, to help them out, kind of like I wouldn't call it a buddy, but almost like another colleague there to help them.
This AI wouldn't be general purpose like ChatGPT or Gemini. It would be task specific, designed to digitally look over a user's shoulder and flag possible mistakes.
To see how it changes their workload, how it changes their situation awareness. Do they trust the AI, and even do they become more confident in performing the task?
Now, the next step in this research is to actually overlay that AI that these researchers have developed to invite participants back in to redo the exercise to see the optimal level of assistance that this artificial intelligence should be providing to these operators. Again, it'll likely be a few years still before this research, this product, this type of software, and this type of AI is optimized before it can be handed to military officials, military operators, again, to track each and every one of those ships up in Canada's Arctic. Brett Ruskin, CBC News, Halifax.
Yep, a bit gray over Halifax.
It's not the most uplifting evening in Halifax, is
No,
it?
and Ryan says rain is on the way. His full weather forecast is coming up. Please stay with us.
All right, well, we all managed our way through yet another dreary day in Nova Scotia. We have lots of experience in that department, but, better days ahead. A cold day today as well.
Definitely cold.
Yeah.
So some good news for Friday. It will warm up.
It's going to be warming up along that Atlantic coastline widespread. Temps today were, again, bitter along the Atlantic coastline, but didn't do too bad for northern areas where the sun was breaking through. Another spot that the sun was breaking through was in northern Cape Breton, and that leads us to our time lapse for today. Have a look at this. This is Meat Cove.
You have sun for us?
You have a little bit of sun breaking
awesome.
through, and even a little bit of a bonus at the end here. So yeah, you can see the clouds fairly dominant over northern Cape Breton today as well. The bluest of skies appeared to be in and around Cobequid Bay today based on the satellite and the webcams. But yes, note the sun kind of breaking through here this afternoon. There it is. And yes, as we look at the last check here, there's even a little
a payoff.
Cool.
Yeah, a little rainbow,
Nice.
or it might be a fog bow or a drizzle bow.
Some kind of bow.
It's something.
Yeah, the precip looks fairly light there, but it is trying to break through. And thanks to Nova Scotia webcams for that. Nice to see a little bow on what has been, not a great day across the province overall, but as I said, northern areas did do better than southern areas. Note the winds in from the southeast, and they are going to be sustained in that 20-30 range tonight, gusting 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. We're already there in many cases across the west. And as we look at the satellite and radar picture, there's that little bit of light precipitation working its way up into places like Meat Cove, and some breaks of sun still across the Northumberland shore today. Over the last little bit, I should say, and in through the Cobequid Bay area. And here comes the wet weather, which is tracking its way in. Lots of rain streaming up and ahead of this system. Cooler air pushing all the way down into the U.S. southern parts of the U.S. And we'll talk about that with the long-range forecast. We are talking about those cooler temperatures that are going to be likely lingering into early May for a good chunk of North America. But for us, looks like we are actually on the upward trajectory in terms of temps as we move into next week. We'll show you your 7-day in just a second. There's the other, one more look at that rainfall outlook, 10 to as much as 30 millimeters for basically the northern half of the province, 30 to 40 and 50 millimeters along the Atlantic coastline and into a good portion of Cape Breton. There are those temperatures I was looking for, and you can see that those temps are well down to the U.S. south. So as we can have a look at our temperatures for tonight, anywhere from 5 to 9 degrees. Those winds from the southeast, they're going to be gusting around 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, as I said, for most. Now, lace wet winds will gust 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, and so there is a lace wet wind warning in effect. As we walk you through the timeline of this, note the periods of rain at times, a little on the heavy side, even the risk for a thunderstorm overnight into Friday morning, and this stream of moisture will continue to move up and along the Atlantic coastline. It's in and along the Atlantic coast where we have the best chance of some of those heavier downpours. And as I said, with that 30 to 50 millimeter amount along the Atlantic coast, I also should mention there is a rainfall warning in effect. Yarmouth, Shelburne, all the way up to Halifax County, a special weather statement for Guysborough and into Cape Breton because of that rain. There's Friday afternoon, that rain pushing up and across eastern areas, and note the clear out. Yarmouth, Shelburne, up into Queens, and perhaps even into the valley late afternoon before the sun sets. Might see a bit of sun there. No sun in Cape Breton tomorrow. It is the winds gusting 60 to even 80 kilometers per hour. Temperatures 6 to 11. A similar story across central areas. Coolest temps along the Atlantic coastline with fog and rain and drizzle. Should get up into the double digits for northern areas. Possible sun late day in through the valley and Bridgewater, Lunenburg, but more likely here in the Tri-County area and into places like Kedzie and Queens. There's the rain moving its way out. Note Saturday morning, some lingering wet weather in Cape Breton. Otherwise, lots of sunshine. Saturday looks like a terrific day. Could see some lingering showers in the morning along that Northumberland shore on Saturday. You folks will clear into the afternoon as that system moves out. And yeah, looking at a pretty nice day elsewhere. And then we've got this next system coming in. This looks like periods of rain tracking in throughout the afternoon, evening, and overnight. Some gusty winds, especially across eastern areas. And this is, yes, some wet snow mixing in. Mount Tom, Cobequid Pass, and especially the Cape Breton Highlands could see, yes, some slushy accumulation, but we're clearing and warming even through Monday, but especially Tuesday into Wednesday. A little blip on the radar in early May, no big deal, right?
That's all it is.
We can deal with it.
Exactly. Okay, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, if you're headed to New Brunswick this summer, you may be surprised to notice a number of tourist sites will be closed.
Several sites lost funding in this year's provincial budget, including the popular lighthouse at Cape and Rage along the Bay of Fundy. The CBC's Sam Farley has more.
Work continues as usual to maintain the lighthouse at Cape and Rage, overlooking a sweeping view of the Bay of Fundy. But this summer, the site will be closed to visitors.
I think these views, they're probably the finest I've seen in a long, long time.
Cape Enrage was one of several tourism sites owned by the province but operated by a third party that were cut in this year's provincial budget. Nestled between the world-famous Hopewell Rocks and Fundy National Park, Cape Enrage is situated along one of the busiest tourism corridors in the Maritimes. The plan was to leave it open for a year while discussions could take place about private ownership possibly taking over.
We want things to thrive and to develop, but tourism, heritage and culture, our department, we can't operate everything.
The province had given Cape Enrage $30,000 annually for operational funding, plus another $100,000 for upkeep work on the facilities. But this year, the province had only offered the $30,000 payment alone.
We cannot invest capital money in sites that we want to divest.
The board that runs Cape Enrage is meeting with the department in early May, but says the funding that was offered simply wasn't enough to stay afloat, and so they made the decision not to open this year.
We could probably exist, but we could never do maintenance on the buildings. So, and that after a winter at Cape Enrage, you need to do some painting and repairs, and yeah, it's a rough environment.
Fundy Albert Mayor Jim Campbell serves on the Cape Enrage board and spent 4 years working as the site's manager. Along with the lighthouse, there was also a zip line, restaurant, and fossil tours.
It was the best job I think I've ever had. Certainly with some challenges as manager, but working with the youth that come, that's the highlight. We hired anywhere between 15 and 20 students, some high school, just out of high school, and university students.
A short drive up the road is the village of Alma, which will soon be bustling with visitors. How often would you tell customers here who are maybe in town, hey, go check out Cape Enrage?
Every day, you're not just a business owner, you're a tour guide, you're an information booth, and you know the good spots, the key spots to go to, and that, as far as I'm concerned, is right up there with Hopewell Rocks and the National Park.
Another local business in the area is especially tied to Cape Enrage, making their products using salt water collected every week from the site.
And not being able to say to them, well, go to the Cape, check it out. You will actually, and I've said this over and over again, I will say to them, you will feel the might of the tides standing at the top of the Cape. And you're up there and you see it, and it hits you full blown. So for folks from away and who really want to get a feel and a sense of what it's like, that's the place to go to.
And if you were here and this was open, do you think, would you go down to the lighthouse and spend some time here?
Absolutely, that was the whole idea. You know what? I think the government should open this up, find the funding somewhere. Maybe it's the businessmen of New Brunswick and the community around it that should support it. Everybody can chip in, because it's such a jewel. It's a shame that this has to be closed.
Coming up, Ottawa has announced $6 billion to recruit, train, and hire skilled trade workers. What will that mean for Nova Scotia? federal government is launching a new program to address Canada's shortage of skilled trade workers.
In its spring economic update, it announced $6 billion in funding to recruit, train, and hire up to 100,000 new tradespeople. Caroline Bargout reports.
After spending 15 years as a chef, Melody Watkins is making a change. She's now in her second year training to be an electrician and loves it.
I picked trades because there is a big need for trades right now. And I knew that I would have a reliable job, and it's something that would be more of a career instead of just a passing interest.
Ottawa says Canada will need 1.4 million additional tradespeople by 2033. If nothing changes, it predicts the country will be short 20,000 people a year. That's why it's now offering billions in incentives for students and employers.
A lot of existing trades workers are approaching the end of their careers, and they will be retiring over the next few years. So this is a step in the right direction, but we still face a real challenge on the skilled labor supply front.
At this BC school, instructors and students say the plan to give those in technical training $400 a week and $5,000 for completing the Red Seal certification is a step in the right direction.
Across Canada, we have a problem with apprentices failing to complete their apprenticeship and obtain their Red Seal endorsements. And a lot of that has to do with the high cost of living.
But once you get, further along, taking the break for school can sometimes be quite a bit of a pay cut.
In 2024, less than 20% of apprentices completed their programs within the expected duration, according to Statistics Canada.
That living money may not necessarily address some of the exam anxieties and learning challenges that they have getting through to completion. So it's not the end of the story, but it is very helpful.
This is the last lab for these students before they go out into the working world. The federal government now hoping there's tens of thousands more like them. Caroline Bargout, CBC News, Vancouver.
Michelle Bussey is the CEO of the Nova Scotia Apprenticeship Agency, which aims to modernize the apprenticeship program in this province. Ms. Bussey, that, of course, relies on more young people coming into the trades to begin with, something the federal government also seems to want to do very clearly. What do you make of Ottawa's $6 billion approach here?
Yes, so it's on the surface, it's very promising, very welcomed. We've been doing a lot of work already in the province of Nova Scotia to advance the skilled trades, and looking forward to kind of getting more details. Obviously, we work really closely across the country on apprenticeship and with the federal government as well at a national table. So we're looking forward to getting more of those details, but very welcomed on the surface.
So how much do you know about what this might mean for Nova Scotia?
I don't have a lot of details yet specifically of what it'll mean for Nova Scotians and Nova Scotian and our targets of what we're trying to do with the skilled trades. But again, it's very aligned with the same information that we are hearing as well, that, that there are barriers that exist. And so we've been trying to tackle them at the provincial level, and now the federal government is going to also address them. So I think that is all just good news for apprentices and the future of our workforce. Okay,
you mentioned targets there. I gather the hope is to grow Red Seal trade workers by up to about 100,000 by 2030. So an increase of 100,000. Is that doable?
Well, I think if you look across the country, we would be one of the smaller jurisdictions compared to others, but I would say that it is doable. I know in Nova Scotia, we're certifying about just over 1,000 a year. And again, we would be one of the smaller jurisdictions. If you look at Alberta and Ontario, they would be certifying much, much more than that every year. So, again, we need to get those details from the federal government of how they arrived at those numbers and what kind of incentives they're going to do to kind of help make sure that we have those pathways cleared for those people to come in. And I would say it's not just about young people. We're looking at immigrants, newcomers. We're looking at people that are looking for career transitions. So for us in Nova Scotia, we're looking at everybody and anybody that could possibly be interested in the trades. They're good, rewarding careers right here in Nova Scotia, which is obviously what we want. We want people to stay here and help grow the Nova Scotia economy.
Well, yeah, and I know at least in the past, there has been some challenges in getting more people to join the trades. I was about to ask you, where do the recruits come from? You're saying some of those places, but do you foresee a completely different approach? maybe try to target people at younger ages to join?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think we're already hitting those different groups anyway. So I just think it's going to be a bit more focus and a lot more resources by the sounds of it, and a lot more of a coordinated approach across the country, which is probably a really good thing. And I think when we're looking at things that we're already doing in Nova Scotia, like we're already working with organizations like Skills Canada and Texplorations and, the African Empowerment Academy, iSense, like there's a whole bunch of different groups that we're already working on to try and have that recruitment pipeline really full. For us, we've been concentrating a lot on retaining those that are already in the system. We know that if we put a lot of our resources towards getting those successfully through to completion, it is also a big area of success for us. So that's where, financial supports, learning supports, making sure that we have really targeted strategies and partnerships, and nothing can be done without all of us working together. So really making sure that we're lockstep with all the different levels of government, with our training providers and with our industry and employer partners.
Yeah, I was reading where that is a problem, getting the apprentices to complete their training. Roughly only about a third nationally do. I'm not sure how that's reflected in Nova Scotia, but what would you say about that in terms of how this new program might address that?
So in Nova Scotia, we have about 43% completion rates at the moment. That is something that we've been laser focused on in the last few years as well, and we are starting to see some movement in that. But it isn't a simple fix, and I think that's what this federal government announcement is really pointing at as well, is that it can't just be done kind of a drop in the bucket. It has to be looked at across all of it, right? We have to look at how do we incentivize employers? How do we help the journey people with the mentorship? How do we work with training providers on infrastructure? How do we really incentivize the apprentice themselves to keep going and going back to technical training? So it has to be everybody working lockstep in order for the success to happen. And I think that's what I'm reading anyways in the federal government announcement. That's really positive.
Yeah, and along that vein, the plan calls for modernizing the trades education system. What would you like to see happen here in this province?
Sure. Again, we've been on this journey of modernization now for a few years in Nova Scotia. So we are looking at everything. So we already have digital credentials. We're the only ones in the country that offer digital credentials for skilled tradespeople. So that's a big step. We're looking at, online logbooks, online exams. We're looking at how we can make sure that there's more of the tools in the hands of the individuals as they're going through the journey, making sure wherever we can, we're finding efficiencies, we're breaking down barriers, and we're making sure that it's as simple and easy for anybody to access and be successful as possible.
All right, we'll have to check in again in 6 months or a year from now to see how things are going in that regard. Michelle Bussey, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for the time.
Coming up, as the war in Iran continues, there are growing questions surrounding the next move by Donald Trump.
And despite a dramatic increase in defense spending in recent years, the Canadian military has a long way to go to reach its growth target. Welcome back. After 60 days of war in Iran, there are growing questions surrounding the next move by Donald Trump.
Could the U.S. president order a new round of bombing or try to extend the ceasefire? Either way, Iran's supreme leader has made it clear where his country stands. The CBC's Tom Perry reports from Jerusalem.
We still haven't seen or heard Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, but we have now got another written statement from him. It is quite a defiant statement aimed at the United States. He says that Iran will defend its missile and nuclear capabilities. And then he goes on to write, by God's will, the bright future of the Persian Gulf region will be one without the United States. Outsiders who come from thousands of kilometers away with greedy intentions have no place here except for in the depths of its waters. And he goes on to say, the Islamic Republic will ensure the security of the Persian Gulf to eliminate the misuse of this waterway by hostile enemies. So that's the latest message coming out of Iran. There is, of course, still a ceasefire between Iran and Israel and the United States. There's a ceasefire as well in place in Lebanon, the other front in this war. But we heard from the head of the IDF, the Israel's military, who was in southern Lebanon this week meeting with troops. And his message was that there really isn't a ceasefire in place, that despite this truce being in effect, the Hezbollah and the IDF are still trading fire on a regular basis. The IDF today announced that it was telling people in 8 towns outside its buffer zone in southern Lebanon to evacuate, so presumably to expand operations against Hezbollah. The IDF says that 12 of its troops were injured in a Hezbollah drone strike. A cargo vehicle got hit by a drone, and Lebanon's health ministry says that IDF strikes killed 9 people, including 2 children. And meanwhile, in the north of Israel, sirens have been heard in the past day over suspected drones coming over from Hezbollah. So despite there being a ceasefire in place in Lebanon, in southern Lebanon, the fighting between the IDF and Hezbollah, it has not stopped. Tom Perry, CBC News, Jerusalem.
U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth faced another day of grilling about the Iran war during a hearing on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers challenged Hegseth on everything from the war's legitimacy to its effectiveness to whether Congress could soon rein the administration in. Katie Nicholson reports from Washington.
On the heels of being grilled by Democrats on the House Armed Services Committee yesterday, Secretary Pete Hegseth was in the hot seat again, this time under intense questioning by senators. The hearing had been called to address the Pentagon's $1.45 trillion budget increase ask for next year. But there were many questions about the war in Iran, including its unpopularity at home.
I disagree with your assessment that we are under threat.
Do you not believe them when they say death to America?
Listen, our adversaries use rhetoric all the time. What I'm concerned about is we are not safer, and I would just like to know why you have not sought the support of the American people, and 3 out of 5 Americans are against this war today.
I believe we do have the support of the American people.
And there were questions about what this war is costing Americans, in addition to the price of gas, which hit a 4-year high today. The Pentagon says it is costing taxpayers $25 billion, but Senator Richard Blumenthal questioned that given the damaged military infrastructure in the region and the roughly 400 casualties reported so far.
And I think $25 billion is probably less than half, maybe less than a quarter of the total cost of war.
And then there were questions about the War Powers Resolution. The 1973 measure gives the White House 60 days after initially notifying Congress of a military campaign to either end it or get congressional approval to continue. Hegseth suggested because of the ceasefire, the clock has been paused.
We are in a ceasefire right now, which our understanding means the 60-day clock pauses or stops in a ceasefire. You're not in. Yeah. It's our understanding, just so you know.
Okay, well, I do not believe the statute would support that. I think the 60 days runs maybe tomorrow.
President Trump was to be briefed today on a new wave of military options in Iran, including strikes, reported first by Axios. But speaking with reporters this afternoon, the president appeared to indicate he didn't think it would be necessary to break the ceasefire. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
The war in Iran has caused new controversy connected to the upcoming FIFA World Cup. Iran's soccer team is scheduled to compete in the tournament, but a top Iranian soccer official has been denied entry into Canada for a pre-tournament event, even though he had received permission in advance to enter. He's been identified as a former member of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Conservatives are calling his arrival in Canada a massive security breach. But the Prime Minister is suggesting his denial, once here, is evidence the system is working.
The Revolutionary Guard has been listed as a terrorist organization for several years. The members are prohibited from coming. We have a series of screenings and we take action. And no members have entered the country. Action has been taken appropriately. And look, there are multiple hurdles in order to get into the country, and I think the important thing is that those hurdles are effective, and we continue to see that.
Iranian state media says the Iranian soccer official was turned away after landing in Toronto on Tuesday night, and his entire delegation then returned home. FIFA's president said the Iranian team will play at the Games in the U.S. this summer, despite the ongoing war.
2 Canadians are among the activists detained by Israel. They were on a flotilla of vessels carrying humanitarian aid bound for Gaza that the activist group says was intercepted off the coast of Greece overnight by Israel.
You're required to change your course. Any further attempt to sail toward Gaza places your safety at risk.
According to the ship's tracker published on the activist group website, 22 vessels were intercepted. A press release from the group Global Sumud Flotilla said Israeli forces jammed communications, destroyed several ships, and left activists adrift on boats without power. Organizers called it an act of piracy. Israel said it removed about 175 activists from boats, adding that all detained participants were unharmed, and would be taken to Greece. Israel said its blockade was lawful and that early action was necessary because of the large number of vessels involved.
The federal government is pouring money into improving the Canadian military, but right now, funding isn't enough. More people are needed too. The CBC's Murray Brewster has details on who's needed and the plans to boost recruitment.
Canada's military faces a daunting mission to more than triple its size, and the country's top general, who is close to presenting her recommendations to the federal cabinet.
In the next month or so, we will be able to present various options, and the discussion is going very well.
Recruitment to the armed forces is the highest it's been since 3 decades plus.
A lot of interest from the highest political office.
We're going to continue to grow the military and grow the military reserves. I'm encouraged by what's happened over the course of the last year.
The Prime Minister is encouraged by a modest turnaround in military enrollment numbers reported last week, partly spurred by last year's substantive pay raise. There's also renewed urgency. New equipment programs appear to be coming together quickly.
And then we can show you around.
2 companies bidding on Canada's submarine contract have submitted their final proposals. The Air Force's first new F-35 comes off the assembly line later this year, in the face of a major pilot and technician shortage. The military has a long way to go to ensure it has enough personnel to staff and maintain those ships and planes. It is now about 8,500 short of its current modest target of 100,000 members. It wants to have almost 500,000 ready to fight in a crisis. And there are lessons being learned from allies already at war.
We had a specific Ukrainian situation where we did explore mobilization. So this is, of course, contributing to how we are going to build our own solution in Canada.
I hope that the plan that is coming from the Chief of Defence Staff will be taken seriously by this Liberal government and that they'll actually put the resources behind it.
This week's fiscal update tried to make it more attractive to join the reserves by offering paid skills training, a $275 million program, a drop in the bucket with what a full mobilization plan would need. Murray Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.
Markets in Toronto and New York ended higher after a slew of earnings from major U.S. tech companies. Let's take a look at those numbers as we head to commercial break. All right, we saw the glimpse of the sun earlier in the live shot that Ryan showed there. Let's hope there's more in the pic tonight. What do we think?
Yes, do we have a sunny, cheerful picture?
We actually do. Have
nice.
a look at this. Our viewer picture. We're going to zoom in on, yes, Little Brador, and have a look at this.
Oh,
that's wonderful.
I remember that kind of day.
long time ago.
Rosemary Woods, thank you so much. Really appreciate you sending your pics, Rosemary, and especially when they look like this. A terrific sunset shot. Ryan's pics at cbc.ca. There's the rainfall outlook, and yeah, pretty good shot of rain across, especially the southern part of the province. Northern areas 10 to 30 and 30 to 50 for the Tri-County area, and along that Atlantic coastline, or at least pretty close to 30 in most cases. So yes, we really do need it. There's the rainfall warning. There's actually a special weather statement for Guysborough and into Cape Breton. Wouldn't be surprised if that rainfall warning is expanded by the time we get to tomorrow morning as that rain does approach. There are the temperatures tomorrow, notably warmer in the west, where it looks like we'll see some sun popping in into the afternoon as the main line of rain tracks eastward, and there's Saturday. Now, the Northumberland shore, some lingering clouds and showers there in the morning, clearing into the afternoon. Sydney, you folks are going to be likely hanging on to the clouds at least until the mid to late afternoon. The timing is everything, of course, as the system does track in. And there's the clear out from west to east into Saturday morning. Those clouds will depart, mostly sunny into the afternoon for most. And then our next system quickly building in. And yes, this looks like rain and some pretty gusty winds. This would be a system we would normally see late March, early April. It's going to have some pretty strong winds, a rapidly deepening system, and yes, those are flakes mixing in. The good news is it's Sunday night into Monday, that system clears away and we're recovering nicely.
Okay, there is that. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's certainly not Superman flying over Manhattan. It is, in fact, an air taxi.
An electric air taxi flight from an international airport to a downtown heliport has never been seen before anywhere in the world. And it's exactly the sort of operation that's going to become commonplace.
Okay, this is a pilot program, no pun intended. The week-long testing is to demonstrate a flying taxi operation ahead of a government approval.
The aircraft can take off from New York's JFK Airport and land at one of the city's existing heliports. The service aims to make a trip between downtown and the airport in under 10 minutes.
China, India, the United Arab Emirates are also working on similar projects. It's the Jetsons. It's finally here.
Finally. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.